The EAZEYE Monitor. What is this thing and who founded it? Let's find out. Hey everybody, JB here. Excited today to talk to you about this really cool monitor that I've been trying for the last few weeks that helps with eye strain. And it's got some really cool features to it. Carbon fiber, works with natural lighting, really does some neat things. But what I want to do today is we're going to do a full review later in the week, but they're launching today on Indiegogo. And I love this project for one reason more than another, and that's for the entrepreneurial spirit of this young man who is putting this all together. So what I want to do then is just do an interview with Lewis, who came up with this concept that he told me like a year and a half ago about, and has actually moved it to Indiegogo and to manufacturing. So we're going to watch the interview. I've got the link down to Indiegogo. It's launching today. Any questions you have, please put them in the comments. Lewis, the founder, is going to try to do his best to answer them. A lot of the questions that I got on Reddit, I tried to get as many answers as I could, and you can also go to the link down below and get the answers there also. So without further ado, let's get into this interview, enjoy it, and learn more about the EAZEYE Monitor that is going to help a lot of people with eye strain and how it came to be. Hey, everybody. Great to have you here today. Excited. I've got Lewis with EAZEYE. We're going to talk about this monitor, but more importantly, I want to hear his story. I want to hear your story. I remember getting an email, I think it was 2 years ago, saying, hey, I'm putting this project together. Would you like to look at it? And I did a video back then, like 2 years ago, about this project. Lewis, can you fill us in on where this came from, why you're doing this, and how this monitor dream of yours came together?
Yeah, thank you so much, JB. I remember about a year and a half ago, actually, I first emailed you about this project I thought about, and a lot of people around me, for example, my friends say this is an idea that isn't worth it. So I did have some doubts back then, because I personally face a bit of problems with eye strain. I don't think it's particularly comfortable looking at all these devices for so long, especially now we're moving into a more and more digital age. I think we really have to consider how these screens are affecting us. But really, from the beginning, it was like about a year and a half ago, and I saw that I've always wanted a screen that was much more comfortable to use, and so I looked around. I looked in on Amazon on different stores, and they all had these different blue light computer monitors. And then at that time, I also looked into e-ink. E-ink, of course, is like a, a good alternative, but it's also very expensive, and not everyone's happy with the ghosting or the refresh rate. It's not perfect. Of course, now it's another step with color e-ink, but it's still something that has a lot of work to do. So I looked into regular computer monitors, and all these computer monitors said, oh, they had low blue light, had no flicker. So which one is better? And that was really confusing me, because like I found that there wasn't enough transparency in the marketplace. That why didn't they disclose how much exactly blue light it is reducing? All the monitors said low blue light. So I wanted to create a product that would be, first of all, transparent on this information. And if you guys want to check out any information, you could visit the Indiegogo page where we'll have all the testing information. But we've tested this. We've improved on the LEDs. We've improved on the brightness of the monitor. Let's get back to the start of it, when it was
Yeah,
like a
yeah. Where
year
did
ago,
you?
and then
So,
so
I mean, you're a pretty
mhm,
young guy. You're a pretty young guy, right? I mean, it's like
yeah.
this is almost like a high school kind of project, right? I mean, that you brought to
Mhm.
fruition. It just really makes me excited to hear this. So, was it in high? Did you have a teacher or somebody inspire you? I mean, it's just pretty cool.
No, I actually I've gone my like a year and a half ago, I got my own e-ink screen, like the books 13-inch screens. I was pretty impressed with that, and I thought, why can't your regular displays be also lit by the environment? I looked at these regular LCD screens, these computer monitors. I think I watched a video on the disassembly of one of those computer monitors, and they took one apart, and they had this LCD screen, And when they shown this LCD screen and they faced it towards a light source, you'd actually see the LCD being lit up. So that inspired me. That I was like,
Ah.
why can't, yeah,
Why can't the
traditional
environment
computer,
work? If I'm holding this up, I can see the light
exactly.
coming through it, so it should
Why
technically
can't,
work. Yeah, it
mhm,
makes
mhm.
sense.
Why can't a regular computer monitor be lit with the environment as well? Why has nobody tried this? And then so it was a simple concept, right? Like you think it's that simple when I saw I could in a couple months I'd be able to get a product out and get a product that was decent and was something that everybody could use. But then when we so then the next step was really talking to some experts, talking to people who did CNC, talking to suppliers, talking to people who did DIY monitors, working with them, and then really building up my connection so that we could get to the point where we are now.
Where you can
But
bring it to
the that
market. You can bring
yeah,
this to
yeah.
market, which is great. Well, so from that point of inspiration, the market's been a year and a half,
Mhm.
which is still impressive. I mean, to me, that's really great. And when you're doing this, who are you thinking this is for? Like
Mm-hmm.
who is the target person that is going to say, hey, I want to spend, and we'll talk about pricing in a minute, but this is going to help me. Who are we looking for?
Yeah, so EAZEYE has really three main selling points. The major selling point is eye strain, and because it is naturally backlit, and we've spent a lot of dedication, a lot of effort in trying to make this the perfect monitor to make it as comfortable as possible, not just within the design that it is naturally backlit, but also within the specific features. The LED strip, for example, um, we've developed our own LED strip that would be um, that is a lot better, but I can talk about that later when we get there. Um, yeah, but the next part was building prototypes. So after after I had this idea, and then I talked to the people on the CNC, the people who did this DIY, worked with them, and then we got a prototype out. But then the after using it for a week or two, then you realize here are some problems. This is what we could revise. Here's what we need to improve, and then we build another prototype, and that's basically the process for the whole year, about a year of building
I
prototypes
remember. I
until
know you kept
where we
telling
are
me. I
right
mean, I was getting
now.
some
Yeah.
emails from you that you're
Mm-hmm.
getting there, and I mean, I mean, it's phenomenal. I've got one of the units here, and it's just been
Mm-hmm.
working for me, and it's like I can definitely see the eye strain, right? So I can see the process you've got to this point,
And
and
then yeah,
pretty
and then
impressive.
the other features are that it saves electricity. It uses about 90% less electricity compared to a regular computer monitor when you are using the natural light mode. So that's obviously something that's really good for the environment. And then you have the third point, which is that since it's using natural light, you could use it outdoors. You could use it in all environments. And that's just something where, like, if you have a regular monitor, first of all, it wouldn't have enough brightness outdoors, and also you would need a lot of electricity to power the backlight for it to be brighter than the environment.
Yeah, it's tough. I've got 5K monitors next to this right now, and they're super bright, right? And so it's
Yeah,
like
and you feel like
these
the
won't work
heat coming
outside,
out. You
you
feel the
know?
heat coming out of those bright screens too.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
It's believe me, I'm burning some power up in here. Like I'm probably getting like 16 diseases at the same time. I have so much tech in here, so it's giving up all kinds of stuff. Well, I'm just really proud you've come this far, and so we've got people that are environmentally conscious. I think the main one is people that are dealing with eye strain, which I can tell you it's good for me. Look, I wear glasses, and then outdoor. That's really, I mean, we can use it outdoors. And somebody asked on Reddit if we could use it in a greenhouse, which I would assume that's a perfect place for it, right? In a greenhouse or a conservatory. That was kind of a interesting question. I don't have a greenhouse, so I can't test it in one, but you would think with that light, it's going to be great because you take the panel off the back.
Yeah, as long as there's environments with enough natural light, it should be great. And as long as the light source is either above or behind, which is in most cases. If not, then there's still that built-in LED strip that can be used, that can make it use and be usable in all environments.
What is, so you know this technology more than me. I've got a question that says that's pretty awesome. Is it the same as SVD, which I think is that Sun Valley? They've got kind of a weird monitor that's out there that's different, right? In
Yeah.
that, or is it RLCD? Can you give me kind of, do you know those terms?
Yeah. So that's I think they're referencing to SunVision's display 32-inch computer monitor. So I've
Okay.
tested that out and I've compared it to EAZEYE. It's about if you're talking about overhead brightness with lighting directly overhead, it's pretty similar in results. If you're talking about lighting from behind, EAZEYE wins because EAZEYE uses like direct backlight,
Yeah.
and with lighting from the front, it's Sun Vision display. So Sun Vision display is their RLCD monitor reflects light from the front.
Okay.
And because that's a different type of technology, but it also has the same effect that it is naturally lit by the environment.
It's great. Yeah.
Um,
And they're just front lit.
yeah.
You've got a backlit. So if we're up against a
Mhm.
window or something, that's what I've noticed. It really pops. Like if you've got that good lighting behind, your monitor does such a good job just coming through. And it's got a nice bass feel to it. And that's one of the things I've noticed. So okay, so that's just one of the questions, right? That we're getting. Um, so they want to see regular LCD versus EAZEYE. Obviously, we want to see that contrast brightness differences. I'm sure people want to see that. It can, when they're not in the front of the window, maybe close to a white wall, they want to see that. We'll see that with the open panel. I'm going to do some of this testing. So I think it's very usable without the panel. How about lux meter? Do you have amount of lux that it produces? And I would assume that would be based on the light that's behind.
Yeah, so all this information, you guys can go to our Indiegogo page. There are in the bottom there will be there's all this information posted with like regards to our testing of this
Nice.
this device.
Awesome. Well, and I love to get the community's input because it's great because they're always asking questions, and we'll talk about that more. And obviously I could probably get you back if we need more questions. Let's talk pricing, right? And launch. So this is
Mhm.
pretty cool. So, how are you launching this? How's it going to customer? Where's our price? I think I mentioned to you before, ink is kind of what I was comparing to, and ink monitors are going for thousands of dollars out there. So where are you guys at?
Yeah, so we're launching. We are at Indiegogo right now. And if you go on easeeye.com, sorry, if you go on the Indiegogo page and then you search EaseEye, or do you mind linking this in the
Well, yeah,
description
we'll
so
put a
people
link
can,
in. Don't worry
yeah, they
about
can
links.
have.
We'll make sure we get them at Indiegogo. So you're primarily going
Mhm.
Indiegogo is the primary platform. No Kickstarter right now,
Yes.
just
No,
Indiegogo.
no Kickstarter. Yes, just Indiegogo. And they can back us right now for $549. And this is actually quite a fair price. A lot of people are saying our regular computer monitors are about $100-$200. Why is EaseEye priced the way it is? First of all, you have your development with a lot of time developing, testing these prototypes, making sure that um, this is the perfect quality for the general public to use. And then we also there's materials. There's also the cost of customization for some of these parts and mass production later on. So, but if you just talk about the materials, we use aluminum and carbon fiber. And this carbon fiber material is really premium. You don't see this in computer monitors today. But we chose carbon fiber not just to say we use carbon fiber. That's not the case. We actually tested different types of panels. We had three criteria. We needed it to be thin, we needed it to be durable, we needed it to be lightweight, and so there's basically no other alternative apart from carbon fiber. We tested a lot of materials, and carbon there. Perhaps there's like Kevlar. Kevlar is like the stuff you see in like
Yeah.
bulletproof vests or something, but that's like way too extreme. So carbon
No,
fiber is
I
like
feel and
the
just I'll
best.
let you know, just touching it and feeling it, it feels very different than I thought. It doesn't feel cheap. And that's I think you get $100, $150 monitor. I have one upstairs I mean, they're cheap. I mean, you can tell right away
Mm.
when you feel it's plastic, you know? And so I think, you know, pricing is one of those things that it's all relative to the problem that is being solved. So again, if you were making 10 million of these things, I'm sure you could drop the pricing. We're talking about a
Mm.
launch product that's a very niche product to a particular market. So, you know, again, I would probably compare it more to a e-ink monitor that somebody's looking for some, you know, some eye relief compared to a traditional monitor that's not going to solve the problem, right? So that's just me, and maybe somebody's got something different to say, but ink monitors are going for insane amounts. To me, an
Yeah,
e-ink
so
monitor is expensive, 2 grand or whatever, right? Or 1,500 bucks.
really, it's different the way you look at it because you have for e-ink monitors, it's the screen that's expensive that e-ink is charging, and that's the same with our LCD. The manufacturers put a lot of development on the screen. For our one, we use LCD, which we've tested, we've tried a lot of different LCDs. But then where our cost is that we had to develop this into a system where it worked with natural light. And
Yeah.
of course, it's not lit from the front, it's lit from the back. And that's something that it has not been done before. So we definitely needed a lot of research and development
Well,
on
and,
that.
and if you think about it, it's using light. So I would assume that the longevity of this, obviously, you haven't had a chance to test this. It's going to last a long, long time because it's using natural light. You know, I mean, I know we've got the LEDs in here that you know I'm
Mhm.
using right now. You take the panel off, but if you're not using anything, then I would assume that you know, and we don't obviously know that, but it's probably going to last a lot longer than a monitor.
Yeah, and that's what I've designed it to be because it's these premium materials are supposed to make a monitor that lasts, and it doesn't need to be upgraded every year or every other year. And like for example, you have these expensive displays now that are 4K, 8K that have to be that in a few years are going to be like your regular monitor. So this is a device that is made for a comfortable viewing experience, not for the brightest colors or all sorts of like fastest speeds for the perfect monitor for gaming. This is really not the case. It's just a good monitor. It's a durable monitor that is very comfortable to look at.
Yeah, you're sitting there writing your book, you're doing technical work, maybe coding, you know, stuff that you don't want to be staring at. Like I said, I'm staring at, you know, 5K monitors right now that are super bright. And then I look over there, I have my Google Analytics on it now. But if I want to type, those type of things where you're doing those redundant tasks are great. I'm not going to be doing movie editing on it, but my content creation from a written standpoint, chat GPT, that type of stuff, I think it really works for me. That's just me personally, you know?
Yeah, and there's also I want to talk about the LEDs in the monitor because that's something we spent a lot of time designing. These LEDs are you don't see in other conventional computer monitors. This LED is actually unique to EAZEYE, the strip. So I'm not sure. What do you think about the LEDs? It'll be great to have some opinion here. But our LEDs, we actually have to individually solder every piece. There's like 80 pieces, about 80 pieces on there. Of course, that would be easier in mass production. But this is because we want to get the perfect monitor that is perfect for eye strain. These LEDs are also full spectrum. So what that means is it's more similar to I'm not sure if you heard of the seasonal affective disorder (SAD) lamps, and so people look into those lamps just to mimic natural sunlight in places where there's like
I'm
less
in
sunlight.
Indiana in the retreat center right now, and I just told somebody last night at dinner they need to get a lamp because it's very important to set your melatonin at night to get that initial sun.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. I wake up to an
So,
alarm that does that. So these are
mhm,
similar. Ah, good. I got a sun lamp in here.
yes. So when you're looking at this monitor for extended periods of time, you don't want to look at something that doesn't represent what is not natural. What is we created this to be as natural an experience as possible. But we also another thing we focus on was low blue light. Um, so this is also low blue light. Of course, the natural with natural sunlight, you have more blue light. So this is actually we're taking a step to lower that because there are studies and there's plenty of evidence saying that blue light is harmful. And when you compare this to a regular computer monitor, you see that like if you test a regular monitor, and I encourage, if you have a spectrometer or anyone who does, to test out EAZEYE. You can see that in a regular monitor, you have a big spike in intensity within the blue light spectrum. With EAZEYE, you have a little of a flat, basically plateau before it rises with the red and the green light. So it should be an experience that is more or less similar to natural light.
And it makes sense. And looking at it, it actually looks better with my glasses off than on, which is really weird. You know, it almost looks clearer because I don't know. There's just something about it and I have the LEDs on right now. Again, just to your research point, I mean, I think this is another great place to be using this would be in your evenings, right? So here I'm staring at these 5K monitors and they're just bombing me with energy to go to bed. And it's actually a stimulus. When you look at this, you're not being stimulated, you know, and there's a lot of research that goes into blue light, not reading your iPad before you go to bed. And that's why a lot of people wear blue light blocking glasses. I mean, we're seeing more and more problems with that. And I look over and it's just got a nice soft feel, and really bright light. It's sometimes an issue if I have a real bright room, right? But when I have a room that's just comfortable, it's really, really good. And of course, it's hard for me to discuss this because I got two 5K huge monitors in front of me that doesn't give it justice. Where if that monitor was just by itself, I think the brightness would be a little more, you know, because I'm looking at these dang big monitors.
Yeah, and there's also an adjustment for the brightness.
I like it. No, I think it's great. I think I've got just standard settings. I haven't played with anything yet, and I think. Okay, thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed that as we help Lewis out there. Even if it's not something you're interested in, if you can hit a thumbs up, that means more people will get to see this, and there's somebody who might have some eye strain that this actually works for. That would be really cool. And we'd love to hear from you down below, anything you want to ask. And of course, the subscribe is the normal thing. Hit the alert bell so you know when we're putting up more content, which we've got planner content and more single sheet stuff coming this week that you're going to love. So let's go do it to it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.